I'm not exactly sure where we left off. I did kind of jump ahead a little bit. We still got a chain gun going on. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to inking this very soon because I actually finished up. We got the final page of that chapter. Still trying to figure out Bloody Knuckles a little bit. But even with the reds down and it's finished and it's like, okay, I know what's going on, why do more? Cleaning it up is kind of part of the editing process because I'm getting a feel for what it'll look like, if I want to change anything, if I don't like the look or the angle or something as I'm going along. And then in my mind, I'm really processing the story. I might change a whole scene, or I might be thinking about the next chapter as I'm working on this one. And so all those things are in motion as we go along. Let me see. And this is one of my favorite scenes in the whole book because it's kind of like it's like a surprise, but also it's kind of showing the escalation into otherworldly stakes. And what I mean by that is, even though I'm not going to reveal that because I know a lot of people who are watching haven't even got the first volume yet. And I hope you guys check it out, not even me just plugging. I think it's a great story. Obviously I wrote it, but I really think people will enjoy it. So click the links in the description. They're going to be links for volumes 1, 2, and 3 and please enjoy it. But there are scenes, even in the first chapter for Chain Gun, you know, of people having powers and blah blah, things of that nature. But this scene really escalates that. And it's kind of like, okay, from this point on, it's getting weird. Because for the most part, you're dealing with the time period of the 1800s. And so most of the action is like with guns and hand-to-hand combat. So then here you have this instance of people with powers. And it's like, okay, he's got to deal with that now. It gets more going on than what you think. I'm making this thing dull in the mud. There we go. Let's do that. Let's throw some shading on there just for fun. You know, and even lets me know, okay, do I want to shade this like that? When I get into the iPad and start finalizing those pages, get to that final draft. Excuse me for a second. I'm sharpening this pencil. I say again, sharpen with a blade, an X-Acto knife, razor blade, whatever you get your hands on, gives you better points than pencil sharpeners. I mean, the electrical ones are good, the ones you just stick the pencil in there, but sometimes those just jam up and eat up your pencils too. And in all my years of drawing, never has an X-Acto knife eaten up a pencil. But then it's really on me because, you know, if you shave it off wrong, you'll shave off too much or too little, and you got to develop your technique for sharpening the pencil by hand. You got to get good with a blade. I got a knife in my pocket. Like, is the knife sharp enough to sharpen the pencil? Nope. I'll cut my finger off before I sharpen this pencil with this knife. You guys want to see that process too? Because now I gotta sharpen this pencil again. As a kid, I would peel potatoes like this, like when I sharpen my pencils, and my mother would advise against it. She would say, no, go the other direction, like this, versus like this, because she's like, you're gonna cut your finger off. But I never listened. Did I cut my finger off? No. Did I cut my finger a couple times? Possibly. Okay, that's good enough. Just the side. Go back to work. And I really enjoy drawing the villains in Chain Gun. So this is like their big introduction. Even though, like, excuse me, you see them in a flashback before this point. This is when they're coming out. And I'm gonna get to those villains in a second. Right now it's just setting the stage with the side characters. Something I'm guilty of is not like really giving, because there, you got main characters, you got side characters, and then you got background characters, and I really don't put a lot into the background characters, which I'm trying to get better at. And the cheat for that is kind of like, I don't know, you've probably seen stuff like this before, where the background characters will literally be clones of the same guy. And I've done that before, and it's kind of like a trope, It's it's like a nod to the audience that, okay, this is just a background character. They don't mean anything. Like, you don't have to care about them. Versus someone who would draw background characters and it's kind of like, these are real people, you know? So I float in between. And it's really, for me, it's all about the acting. It's all about the scene. It's all about what the story calls for. So if the story calls for a reaction shot from a background character, or even just like showing a couple scenes of like, oh, this background character is just going through their day. Oh, then this happens to them, and here's the gravity of what's going on, that it's affecting normal, everyday people, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. I'll get back in here, flip this page, excuse me. I don't want to stay flipped. I might have to sharpen this off screen because I haven't gotten so far here. We gotta break this notebook in, the sketchbook in a little bit more. It's a little stiff. That's how you know I'm putting in work, because this pencil is getting kind of short. So right here, give these background characters some distinct faces. You know someone's taking care when you got scenes across time, but let's say you're revisiting a town, and even without giving them a specific scene or a purpose, you'll see the same background character on purpose. You know, and that's just like added detail from the artist. I've done that before, and sometimes I don't do it. Sometimes I'm just like, I just need to show what happens, and for some reason I've established that there are people here, so now I'm just forced to draw people. I gotta figure out how, when, and where I'm gonna put in the action words, the kabooms, the kablows, because there's action going on. That's another thing I hate, is when I forget to establish that as a part of the piece, the artwork. And then you kind of got to shove it in there in some random place, and it never looks good. But when you plan for it to be there, it's always a lot better. The red pencils are more like hard lead pencils, but these blue pencils are more like soft lead, and I hate soft lead pencils. I hear there's not even really lead. I guess we just call it that, but they stopped using lead in pencils. Sometimes the terminology just sticks. Like when I call it inking, but I'm doing it digitally, so there's no real ink involved. It's just language. I got more pages. I'm gonna stop this video after this page. Probably get something to eat and continue on. This is Black Skull. I think somebody have to change his name because DC made that character. I think they call him Black Skull. So I gotta change his name. But bro's a menace. I'll say that much. He's got the Freddy Krueger thing going on both hands. Not just one. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun with him. I'm pretty sure folks will enjoy it. All right, that's me signing off. I'm gonna complete this later. Peace.